everyone, my name is ArcaneAlice and welcome to another episode of Whimsicraft. Today's episode is going to be pretty whimsical because we have two massive builds that we have to do today right here in our home base. As you can see from this perspective, it looks pretty good, but if we pop out a little bit, there's a big gap right here, and that's what we want to fix today. Now to do that involves two really big builds. First, we have to build our sheep farm, which is going right over there where that wool is above my head. The second build we have to do today is, well, we're going to start a giant tree that's going to go right over there on that little hill, and it's going to house our nether portal. The one thing though is, our nether portal needs to be moved over just a little bit, so we're going to have to do that as well. Now because these projects are so large, I do have a beacon that I borrowed from Scan, and he was so nice to let us borrow that, so in return I'm going to actually help him with a little bit of a project that he's got going on later. We'll probably do that in the next episode. Now in the last episode we were looking for our bundle, and well, I was looking in the complete wrong spot. I was looking over here in this big lake, but apparently I think it's over here in a smaller little lake. So if we pop over here, we can actually go ahead and get our bundle right here. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, we've got to get busy. Well, it looks like YMG is really leading the way, so we've got to get busy and maybe we can have a chance, but maybe not. We might have started too late. But that's okay because we've got a lot of big builds that we've got to do, and I enjoy building. So we're going to head on back over to our base, and then we're going to get started on the first project that we've got for today. Alright, so the first thing we're going to start with is our sheep farm, and that's going to go right here into this hill. Originally I was thinking about putting it right here, but you know, it kind of lines up with everything, and I kind of want everything to be a little bit off. I don't want everything to be completely symmetrical, just like a big giant circle. So we're going to put it up there, and then we'll put a little pathway, and then that'll give us a chance to put a little bit of decorations in this little area right here. And that'll help cover that little area right there to the side of our stables right here. So what I need to do right now is cut a little hole right here into this side of the mountain, and then dig us a little area to just kind of put our little sheep farm in. That way it's tucked away, and we'll kind of make it look like a little hobbit hole just sitting up here. So let's dive right into this episode with some whimsical fun. Alright, well we got the sheep farm done, and now that it's up and running, it's running pretty well actually. So all these sheep right here will be clipped once they eat, just like that, and then the wool will go down into the system that is kind of buried underneath here, And then it'll come up into this tree, and then it gets loaded into these shulker boxes. And as you can see, this one right here pretty much filled up almost just from me building this area. And this one's slowly catching up because I built this side after I built this side. But yeah, let me go ahead and take you around back, and I'll kind of show you the behind the scenes of everything. Alright, so down here is pretty much the belly of the beast, and these are all the minecart hoppers that are collecting the wool from up top when the sheep eat the grass. It's basically just a bunch of different pods for like sheep wool farms. So like there's one, and then there's one, and so forth and so on. There's just a lot of them. So then they travel down the hopper line, and they come right here to this item elevator, and then that pumps them up to that chest right there, which then, I don't know if you can see right there, there's a few more chests, and then so basically it pumps them up to that one right there, and then it feeds them down into here, which then feeds the shulker boxes that are pretty much almost right back behind that one right there. So if you think of this as just like one individual unit right here, this would be one unit, and then there's a whole another like pod unit right there, and then that's that one we were just talking about, and then there's one here, and then there is one, I missed my jump. There's one over here, kind of tucked around the side. So yeah, this is the fourth one right here in the back. And then I've just got them all covered up to make it look a little bit nicer. Now I decided to add this big tree in here because, well, it kind of was giving me like this Legend of Zelda kind of vibes, like the old Legend of Zelda. So yeah, I was like, you know what? Let's put a tree in here to kind of watch over the sheep. And then I put the shulker boxes in there, and then I was building it, and I didn't even realize I kind of made a face. Like there's the eyebrow, like the eyebrow is there, and then the eyeballs, and then like maybe like a nose, and it stares at me. I'm being haunted by a tree in my dreams. What next? Anyway, let's get on out of here because these guys make a lot of noise. Oh, by the way, I decorated it to kind of look like it was outside. That way, you know, they'd be a little bit happier, right? They look happy. Yeah, they're happy. Oh, and this look, I like this too, this little exit. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice little sheep farm. It does what it needs to do. And if you're wondering, it's dark. Oh my. Okay, we're gonna fly home really quick. Fly away. Well, that sucks. That sucks. Oh, I'm gonna have to fix that now. Now I'm gonna have to fix that, you guys. There's no respect around here. I know there's another one up there hiding, and now I'm gonna have to fix this. Well, this will give me a good time to kind of show y'all this little area as well. There he is. Oh my goodness. Don't you do it. Come on down here, where it's a little safer. And I was getting double teamed there. I think they planned that. Look, and they had a skeleton waiting for me down here. How did I do that? How did I just let him blow that up? And what's this guy doing back here? My base is being invaded. Alright, let's take care of this guy, and then we'll fix this, and I'll kind of show you the stuff that we've done out here as well. There we go. Let me grab some dirt real quick. Alright, well, you remember before where this little area right here was pretty blank? Well, now the only thing that's blank is this center part right here, and that's where we're going to build our big tree. But what we've done with the sheep farm is we've kind of like tucked it away back here behind this hill. You can just kind of see it tucked away back there. So let's head on up and I'll show you everything that we've done on the outside. So I've added a lot of trees and a lot of shrubbery, and then I've also added a lot of moss everywhere because I really like the way the moss looks. It goes all the way to the ground and it kind of covers the whole block. But then you also get a little bit of dirt peeking through every now and then. I think that really gives it a lot to the whole like look of the area and kind of the vibe of the area. Also, as you walk around, you'll notice that there's a lot of cherry leaves kind of dotted around in the trees. And that's for a good reason that we'll talk about it a little bit later, but just know that that's there for purpose. And you'll see them kind of dotted around everywhere. Also, you know, they give them that little particle effect, which I think is really nice. Mainly because we haven't updated yet, so we don't have like the falling leaves and all the new stuff that's come out quite yet. We're not quite ready to update. But then you come on up here to this little area, and this brings you to the wool farm. So there's a nice little path right here. I'm guessing that's where that creeper blew up. So it's a nice little path up here, and it's really tucked away. And I've left a couple of areas open on purpose, like this area here. I want you to be able to see this when you're kind of coming out of the farm, because that's going to be where kind of everything is, right? Like there's going to be a lot more stuff down here. Not so much buildings, but there's going to be quite a bit going on down here. Mostly like flower beds and gardens and stuff like that. And then we've got to get the road put in. We've still got to move this portal over here. The portal has to come over here onto this platform, which is where we're going to build our big tree that we've been working for. That's why we've been collecting all the wood, all the glass that we've been collecting. All this wool right here, all of that is for that one build, and it's going to be very large. Alright, now before we can get started on that, I've also been told that we need to head on over to our bone block shop, because apparently we're almost sold out. We just built that thing. Maybe this one is the one that's going to make us money, you guys. Let's go check it out. I'll meet you over there. Alright, well, here we are at our bone shop, and if you remember, we built this in the last episode. It's the little rest in pieces, and we sell bone blocks here. Apparently, we have run out of bone blocks already, or we're about to. So let's go in here and find out what's going on, because apparently everyone says that I need to restock my shop. And I don't think, whoa, okay. I think we might have to, yeah, we definitely have to restock. This thing's doing a lot better than I thought. Hey, you know what? Maybe we should probably restock this shop. And I think this one is going to be the one to make us a little bit of money. I mean, it's a pretty good deal on the bone blocks. And you know what? I think I'm really happy with this. So let's go ahead and I'll get this restocked, and then we'll head back over and we'll continue working on our base. And well, we'll enjoy these diamonds. I should probably give this guy a raise, huh? Alright, well, it looks like we're doing really well with that shop, and if it continues, we can buy a lot more materials to build a lot more things, which I really like. But here we are at the base again, because I did say that this was going to be a base-heavy episode, and as you can see behind me, now it's starting to kind of fill in a little bit. We don't have that huge gap anymore, but we do still have a little bit of a gap. Now we're going to shift our attention to this little area right here, and we're going to start working on the tree. This tree is not going to be done in this episode. I know that I normally finish like every project in one episode, but this is not going to happen, okay? This is a huge project. This is Hobbit HQ size, right? Like you remember Hobbit HQ and then we're working on way over there? This tree is pretty much the size of Hobbit HQ, like tall, but not diameter. But yeah, so like this is going to be pretty big. I've got a lot of materials for it, but first we got to take that portal right there and we got to move it right over there, because this tree takes up a pretty big footprint, and well, we can't put it there because it would be in that, and I don't think the bees would like that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move this portal. We got to dismantle it here and then the nether, and then we've got to rebuild it over here where the tree is going to kind of go. Now, I think the best thing to do, I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and move the portal, and I'll get it where I want it, and then we'll kind of jump into a time lapse, and yeah, and then we'll build up the tree. Okay, well, we got the portal moved, and like I said, we didn't have to move it really that far. I mean, it just went over a few blocks and then kind of back a little bit, but now we gotta see if it worked on the other side. And I have it in my hand, so I might as well say it. Flint and steel. Oh, I've lit myself on fire. This was not the way this was supposed to go. Well, I guess it's fitting for where we're heading. Let's head to the nether and see what happens, because this is where the portal needs to be. Let's hope it's where it should be. It's not. Okay. Okay, I expected this might happen because we were linking portals before, so I am going to have to do some math. Give me a moment. Okay, now that we've got this built over here, we should just be able to hop through, and it should take us right to our base. So let's find out if I got these coordinates right, which I'm pretty sure I did. Yep. Oh goodness. Alright. Yep, we got it right, and we're being attacked as soon as we get here. And I am not paying attention today, and that's going to get me in trouble, so I better look at what I'm doing. I was fighting that guy, and then this guy popped through, and he distracted me, and I was, oh goodness. Alright, well, that's the portal, and it's moved, and it's where it's supposed to be. Let me hop up here real quick. Also, somehow we ended up with 2 extra, obsidian. I don't know how I did that, but I did. So, let's hop up here and take a look. Yeah, I think that's going to work really nice. There's a little skeleton hiding back there. I realized just a little bit ago then I've got to put light over here. I forgot to light this path right here leading up to the wool farm, so I've got to do something about that. But right now what we're going to do is kind of hop into working on this tree, because this thing is going to take, well, it's going to take quite a bit to do. And all we're going to work on today, all we're going to focus on is just the actual, like, the tree trunk and maybe some of the branches. I don't know if we're going to get to the branches. We're going to try. I'm going to try for doing the whole tree trunk and all the branches, but none of the leaves, because we still got to get a lot of materials to get the leaves. Okay, well, we're definitely not going to be able to build the whole tree trunk and all the branches because, well, I kind of messed up on something here. When I made the order for Ailey with all this wood, I accidentally said I needed spruce logs and not spruce wood. So the problem with that is when you convert a stack of spruce logs over to spruce wood, you only get 48. And that's going to put us pretty short because we needed 171 stacks of spruce wood, and that does not convert over to what we have in the spruce logs. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to have to run through all this and see how far we get. And then I'll see how much more we need to kind of maybe buy off Ailey, or maybe we can just kind of harvest it ourselves. I don't know, but I know we're definitely going to not have enough. So this is definitely not going to be a project that we're going to finish in this episode anyway. So we'll just kind of see where we get to. Alright, if you're ready, let's start on the final big project of this episode. I hope you're not afraid of heights on this one. Alright, that's one big tree finished, and that is definitely one big tree. So let's go ahead and walk around it and kind of take a look at everything. And I mean, there's not much, it's a tree. But there is a little bit on the inside, and still a lot of more work that we need to do on the inside, so that's not done either. But I'm going to hold off on that for another episode. Really, what I'm focusing on now is trying to get the materials for the giant canopy that goes on this thing. But on the inside, I kind of want to decorate this up as well, and just give it a little bit more than just an empty hollow tree. I want to do some floating lights up there. I was thinking maybe candles and lanterns, kind of like a combination of the two up there. I think that could look really good, just kind of give it that magical property. And earlier we had talked about the leaves in the forest over here, which ties into the tree here. So these cherry leaves here are kind of like stuff that has fallen down from this tree over time. And when we build the canopy, it'll really make sense because this whole thing is going to look like a giant cherry tree. But yeah, that's why everything is kind of dotted around here with all these little cherry bushes and stuff. It's just like leaves and stuff that have fell out of this tree and landed in these trees. And I really haven't discussed the entire lore for this area that I had planned, because I really didn't know if I was going to be able to do this. But yeah, so this tree here is kind of like the magic tree of the area, and this is kind of where all the magic for the Hobbit village comes from. And trust me, when we get done with this thing, it's going to be pretty magical. Now as for the outside, I mean, like I said before, it's just a tree. I did add some root systems kind of coming off of it. Like I wanted it to look like it was not just like it was rooted in here, right? Like this is a big tree. I want to expand these, but I just don't know where exactly all the paths are going to go, and I don't want to have to build a path and then tear up a path, kind of like I do here. But yeah, so what we're going to do is expand these, and I'm going to build onto them a little bit later on whenever we get all of our paths in. And yeah, so I've done like little things, like I've tried to make like little dents where the roots have kind of like popped up out of the ground and then they've gone back into the ground. We haven't done a whole lot back here, and there's actually a little bit, I've got some dirt up there that I saw, and I've got to get that. But other than that, this, I'm going to put a pin in this one for now. I'm going to call this one done. This right here was quite a few blocks, and it is solid. I mean, you saw in the build, there's no gaps in those branches anywhere. And for anybody wondering how many blocks this actually was just to do this part, well, it was 10,944 spruce blocks. That's a lot of spruce blocks. I actually didn't have enough because of the little fiasco in the beginning. I had to go over to Ailey's shop and buy every block of spruce wood that she had. I mean, this is a lot, right? And I know I had to get more. So yeah, this was a pretty big build. Now, the tree itself, I mean, that sounds like a lot of blocks, but it wasn't too bad. I was able to complete this in one night, just sitting down and trying to get it done. But the canopy, oh, the canopy, you guys, is going to be rough. That one requires 109,376 blocks. That is not going to be easy, and it's very complicated as well. So wish me luck whenever I start that one, but it won't be right now because, well, we have other things to do in the next video. And this is going to have to be pushed back a little bit. Plus, I've got to get a lot of materials. I've got some of them, but not all of them. So in the next episode, we're going to be right back in the nether, trying to finish up that nether hub, or at least put a roof on it. We also have that little project for Scan, as long as he's ready for everything. I'm pretty sure he will be, so I'm betting on that for the next episode, but we'll see which way it goes. I do have a lot of other projects that we can do if that one's not ready, but man, I hope it's ready because I'm excited for that one too. Alright everyone, well that's going to bring us to the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. This has been an incredible time on this episode. I've had so much fun building all this. I've been looking forward to this tree for so long, and now seeing it take shape in the area, oh, I'm so excited for it. Be on the lookout for the next episode because we are definitely going to be doing some more larger builds. We've got the nether to do, and then we've got a little bit of fun with Scan maybe. I'm really looking forward to that. Now if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and maybe a like and a comment. I always like to hear from everybody. Kind of let me know how I'm doing. Anything that you would like to see. Sorry, I had to go back up in the clouds. I was about to spoil something from somebody else, and we don't do that. But yeah, I always love to see what everybody's thinking up in the comment section, and don't forget to go ahead and check out our Discord as well. We have a lot of fun over there on the WhimsyCraft Discord. If you want to talk to me or any of the other Whimsies, you know, that's the place to check us out. So until the next one, everyone. Bye. Thought I was gonna fall there, didn't you? I got this. Bye, you guys. Okay, I think I've lost my base. Well, time to find home again.